My wife announced, "We've decided you're getting divorced." With her friends watching, I said, "Okay," and walked out. 2 weeks later, she was sobbing outside my hotel room, saying I ruined her life. Hey, Reddit. 2 weeks ago, my wife gathered her three best friends at our house, sat me down at the dining room table like I was about to get fired, and casually announced she wanted a divorce. Not discussed, not suggested, announced. With her personal cheerleading squad nodding along like she'd just revealed the cure for world hunger. I looked at her, said, "Okay," grabbed my keys, and walked out. What followed was the most calculated 2 weeks of my life. Buckle up! I'm 37 male, a corporate logistics manager for a distribution company based in Phoenix. The job isn't glamorous, but it pays around $95,000 annually, plus performance bonuses that usually add another $15,000 to $20,000. I handle supply chain operations, vendor contracts, freight negotiations, and basically make sure thousands of products move from warehouses to retailers without the company bleeding money on delays or damaged goods. Started at this company 12 years ago as a warehouse coordinator, making $32,000. Worked nights and weekends, took online courses in logistics management, learned freight software systems on my own time, moved up to assistant manager, then operations supervisor, then got promoted to my current role about 4 years ago. The grind was real, but it paid off. My job taught me something that would save my life later: how to stay calm under pressure and execute contingency plans. When a critical shipment gets held up at customs or a supplier suddenly can't deliver, you don't panic. You assess the situation objectively, identify your backup options, document everything for legal protection, and execute the solution methodically. That exact mindset became my playbook for handling what was about to happen. The house I live in, a 3-bedroom ranch-style place in a decent Phoenix suburb, I bought it solo about 3 years before I even met my soon-to-be ex-wife. Put down $40,000 from savings, took out a 30-year mortgage, got my name on the deed. That house represented years of living below my means, driving a paid-off sedan instead of financing something flashy, and prioritizing long-term security over short-term gratification. My dad was the one who drilled financial responsibility into my head from an early age. His older brother lost absolutely everything in a brutal divorce back in the late 90s. House, retirement accounts, even had to liquidate a small landscaping business he'd built from nothing. The ex-wife's attorney carved him up like a Thanksgiving turkey, and he spent the next decade starting over from scratch at age 45. Dad made sure I learned from that disaster. Luke, you protect what you build before bringing anyone else into the equation. If the relationship's solid, she won't care whose name is on the paperwork. If she does care, that tells you everything you need to know. That advice turned out to be prophetic. I met Anna, 35 female, about 9 years ago at a buddy's barbecue. She was working as an executive assistant at a downtown law firm, making decent money, seemed driven and put together. We clicked immediately, talked for hours that first night about career goals, travel dreams, the usual getting to know you stuff that makes you think you found someone compatible. We dated for about 2 years before I proposed. Nothing dramatic, just a nice dinner at a place she loved, ring I'd saved up for. Standard romantic gesture. She said yes, seemed genuinely excited, and we got married about 8 months later. The wedding was nice, but not crazy expensive, maybe $25,000 total, which we split. Her parents kicked in some money, my parents helped out, but we kept it reasonable. No kids came along, which was fine by both of us initially. We'd talk about having children eventually, but always found reasons to push it off. She wanted to advance her career first. I wanted to save more money. The timing was never quite right. Looking back, I think we both subconsciously knew the foundation wasn't as solid as we pretended it was. The first 6 years of marriage were what I'd describe as functionally okay. Not passionate romance novel material, but stable and comfortable. We split bills proportionally based on our incomes. I made more, so I covered about 65% of shared expenses. She contributed to groceries and utilities. We took decent vacations, maintained separate friend groups, had our routines. Anna handled our social calendar and coordinated friend gatherings. I took care of home maintenance, vehicle upkeep, and financial planning. Classic division of labor that seemed to work fine on the surface. But about 8 months ago, I started noticing changes. Small things at first that I brushed off as normal relationship evolution. Anna became increasingly critical of pretty much everything I did. The way I loaded the dishwasher was inefficient. My work schedule was too demanding and showed I didn't prioritize us. I didn't communicate enough about my feelings. I was too focused on practical matters instead of emotional connection. Every conversation felt like I was being evaluated and found lacking in some way. The woman who'd been fine with our dynamic for 6 years suddenly had a running list